if one trains the way that you're describing, each muscle once per week, focusing on intensity, not volume, and so forth, 6 weeks or so, then backing off for 2 weeks, you also find that in your peer group, you're not the one always complaining about pain, and you have energy for other things, which we'll get back to. I mean, unless you're a competitive bodybuilder, most people, including myself, need energy to tend to life and want to be able to enjoy, it's not the soreness, it's the constant aches and pains that come from overtraining, I think, that most people don't have to live with, but think they do.
It depends on your goals, yeah? Mm-hmm. But I really believe the average person, yeah, that wants to get health benefits from bodybuilding, weight training, resistance, whatever you want to call it, right? They should have a guy that's 40 or 50 or 60, guy or a lady, whatever. The idea is if you could, because you've lost muscle mass slowly since maybe 1% a year since you're 40, right? And this is affecting your health, your metabolism, the ability to process sugar, many, many things, yeah? Bone strength. And the number one thing that I hear from people is, I don't really have time for that. I have a business, I have a family. I said, if you could give me 45 minutes twice a week, that's all you need to do. Okay, you need to eat properly and everything like that. But that's all you need to do for the average person. If you took 8 to 10 exercises that covered your whole body and you did it twice a week, that would be enough for the average person. 1 for chest, 1 or 2 for back, 1 or 2 for legs. Hey, if you want to do some bicep curls and some triceps, you can do it, but you're doing pressing anyway. So for the average person, that would actually be enough. And it's not theory because I've done it with people. Like I'm saying, this gentleman that came along, we put 45 minutes in, nearly an hour, 3 times a week, because I had him doing cardio as well. Mm-hmm. Well, guess how long the cardio was? 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
You got to pedal hard.
We're doing sprints, mm-hmm. like on an air bike. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite because it engages every muscle, push, pull, legs. If you do a 20-second all out, mm-hmm. and you can see how you got on the side of the thing, you can see how much watts you're generating. Mm-hmm. So now you have a target mm-hmm. to hit or exceed every time. So do a minute and a half warm up, whatever. Feel warm, all out, balls out like the devil's chasing you for 20 seconds. First one's tough, but it's okay. Go down slowly for a minute, do the second one all out. The second one's really tough, yeah? The third one is, I've never met anybody that wants to do one after the third one, yeah? Because literally you can't breathe. And the benefits from that, again, I think there's a book called The 1 Minute Cardio. It's a bit tricky because it's not really 1 minute. It's 1 minute of sprints, mm-hmm. but it's 6 minutes in total. And they compared that to 45 minutes of steady cardio on a treadmill or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And the results are more or less the same. Mm-hmm. So what do you want to do? You want to spend 6 minutes or you want to spend 45 minutes? I'd rather do the 6 minutes. I do a bit of long cardio as well myself because I like biking in the mountains and stuff. But if you did that twice a week, along with some weight training, that would be amazing. You change your life, literally, with that and a good diet. So the whole time thing, excuses, it's not relevant. I'm not listening. You don't need a lot of time.
Well, what I love about you is that you've done things at the ultra elite level within bodybuilding. But the advice that you're giving right now is very practical for the everyday person. And I'm not a psychologist, but I'm going to venture a hypothesis here, which is that some of that has to do with the fact that you grew up blue collar background from Birmingham, working full time while building out your bodybuilding career. You didn't come to it with a briefcase full of cash and have the opportunity to just say, oh, how much training can you do? Well, let's figure it out. Like, you had to be very practical. And my guess is that you had to be very practical about recovery and nutrition as well. You probably, I'm guessing there was a point in your life where you couldn't afford, grass-fed meat shipped in from south of France and this guy. I'm not saying you do that now.
Let me tell you a story, man. When I was British champion, that was a big thing back then, British champion, right? 3,000 people in the audience, packed out. We had buses coming from my gym, all this stuff, air horns. British bodybuilding crowds are not like, they're pretty rowdy. They're not,
I think the Brits around any sport get pretty rowdy.
They're pretty rowdy. If you see boxing in Vegas and there's a British fighter, they take over the whole place. Yeah. So anyway, this great accolade, I'm British champion now. And I went home. I got no car. I'm living in a council estate. It's like projects, council estate. I got no carpet in my bedroom. I don't even have a proper bed. I just got a mattress, yeah. I got a TV that barely works. And I got a trophy. I'm like, wow, look, I'm British champion, but nobody gives a fuck, really. Like, you know, I do, and the people that's in the bodybuilding community, but this hasn't translated into anything yet. It took me about 5 years of really, like, you know, 100% dedication for me to turn pro. And the ironic thing is, I guess, like when you're starting and you got nothing, nobody's very interested and nobody wants to help you. When you become successful, people want to help you because they want to help themselves, which is fair enough. It's a transaction, but until then, no. So I got my first car when I was 25. All my friends were driving 18, 19. But the funny thing is, I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. I knew I was on this mission. And this in itself was so powerful. Like, nobody else had that. I had this mission that I was doing, which was to change my life, basically. And bodybuilding was the vehicle. And I think something that really helped me is I'm an avid reader. I have been since I was about 10 years old, and I can take in a lot of information on a subject if I'm very interested. I'll almost get obsessed with it for a while, and then I might just forget about that. I'll go interested in something else. So all the guys that I was training with, they were like just watching videos and listening to other guys in the gym. I was reading Mike Mentz, I was reading Arthur Jones. I was trying to figure it out for myself, which means you need a very independent kind of personality. So, yeah, let me try do a bit more. Doesn't work, finished, you know? And the fact that I've got all this, every single workout from 1983 to 1997 written down, all the diets, later on when I'm using anabolics, what I'm using and how long, and all this stuff so I could analyze it, you know, see what's working and what's not working. A lot of guys were like shooting in the dark, hoping they're going to hit something, but they don't. And I didn't have time to waste. This was a mission. I didn't have skills. I didn't have a family, all this stuff. So bodybuilding was my road to change my life. Where it was going at first, I didn't know, but I knew it was going somewhere. I knew I could be very good at it.